He's a cool bug, isn't he?
Yeah. Mommy, look, giant ears. Yeah. Target. They're harmless. They can do no harm.
Hi guys, this week it's just you and me and the 3 kids. We are on our own. Jack is in Spain for the whole week for work and I'm kind of nervous about it, I'm not gonna lie. Jack is the glue that holds this whole house and family together, so we are very much gonna miss him. This morning has started off with an absolute miracle. So last Friday, I got a phone call from our pharmacy. I was completely confused on the phone, and I was like, "What? How do you have? What do you mean you have my bank card and my health card?" And then I was like, "Oh crap! Where's my wallet?" The pharmacy is telling me they've got my cards. Then they're saying somebody found them on the road. They're going to come round this evening with what they found. Thank you, that's amazing. But also, where's the rest of my wallet? My residency card, my French driver's license, my health insurance. I mean, everything's in this wallet. The key for our car. So then I'm like trying to go back because I stopped at our little corner, like our little supermarket, to pick up a package. And I remember walking out of the shop with my wallet because I had to put my ID card back in it because I needed my ID to get the package. And then I was like, and then I just have a black hole in my memory. I was like, I must have put it on the roof of the car as I was clicking my baby into her car seat. And anyway, he pitches up on his bike and he's got a little baggie from the pharmacy that's all stapled shut. And he's got all my cards. Oh, I was just like, thank you so much. You're so kind. Then I check my phone and I have an email from our insurance company saying that the Mary and Vaz, which is a neighbouring village, has some documents of mine, including my identity card. And I'm like, well, my identity card was tucked in my wallet. So do they have my whole wallet? And I didn't see the email until past 7, and it was shut all weekend. This morning I packed all the kids into the car. I was like, quick, you got to get up, you got to eat breakfast, and we're going on a mission to the Mary and Vaz, and cross all your fingers and all your toes that they have my whole wallet. And I walk in and there it is sitting on her desk, my whole wallet with all my cards, the key for the car. Actually I had €10 in there. I'm not sure if that's still in there. I didn't check. I was just so grateful that everything else is in there. So just so many good Samaritans. It's like how many people were involved in getting me back my wallet. The man who found the cards, the pharmacist, the person who found my wallet, the Mary and Vaz, the insurance company to send me an email. So thank you to everybody who was involved, and thank you to France and French people for being so kind. That's how this week has started. Hopefully I don't lose my whole life again this week. We'll see how we go. So I've just come to the car to check to see if the €10 was still in here, and the €10 is gone, but that's okay. That's a finder's fee. I'd happily have given them more to get my wallet back, so thank you. And you can enjoy the €10, you've earned it. This is the litter that we change every 2 days, 3 days, and it's getting like quite smelly. And it's full of poop. I was using the pine shavings, but it changed pretty quickly to the hemp shavings because the pine is very dusty and it's not as good at absorbing the smells as the hemp. So now we're using the hemp. So that's at least an improvement. But they poop so much, and obviously having them in our living room means that we need to clean it quite frequently. The kids have just taken them out to be outside for a minute so we can clean their coop. Their house, they do not like to be in here while we clean it. I can have a comfy bed. Light back on. All nice and clean. We are on day 3 of Jack being away, and everybody, all the dogs, cats, chicks and kids are all alive and well, so that's good news. In other news, building this garden has meant obviously that all the work inside has come to a complete halt. It's really actually come at a good time because it's given us pause to think about our design plan. So initially our idea was to split this very long house called a loggia in half down here. So that would mean that ultimately we would have 2 houses, which would be lovely once we were living in the maison de maître, which is obviously our ultimate goal, to restore this maison de maître and be able to live in it. But that house is completely uninhabitable. It needs everything doing to it. So we thought, to improve our immediate situation and also gain the skills required to tackle such an ambitious project, we would start with the loggia. And we initially thought that it would be quick and easy to split this in half, renovate half of it, and then move into the half that we'd renovated, which would be this half here. Something that we didn't really anticipate when we started this renovation wasn't necessarily how much it was going to cost, or how much time it was going to take, or how difficult it was going to be, but rather how we would feel while we were doing it as a family. Our kids are young, but this is their childhood, and at the moment they are being the most amazing kids and not complaining for a second about being moved from this room to that room, back to this room, to sharing rooms, to having half their house under construction at all times. But with all this renovation, it kind of casts a temporary and unsettled light on their childhood. They don't have their own space. And even if we were to finish this half and move into it, it would only be 3 bedrooms. And that would mean that 2 children would still have to share a room. And we have all this space. It seems silly to be doing all this work and have all this space and only be using half of it. And also, we're well aware that it might be many, many years before we're living in the maison de maître. And in the meantime, like I said, the kids are growing. Right now, we're okay to be living in such a small space, but how much longer is that going to be viable for? Anyway, like I said, the garden came at a great time. And also, sometimes it's good to have an outside opinion. And that came from my dad, who I think was having sleepless nights over what we were doing to this loggia. And he shared his idea with us of turning this space, not a kitchen, dining, lounge, bathroom like we had originally planned, but rather a master bedroom, ensuite and office. Let me show you. So this is where we have left off. Doors to the outside. This space here, which was going to be the kitchen. This room here, which is set to be the bathroom. Laundry under the stairs. And on this side of the house, a dining area and lounge. So it would be very small, but it ticked a lot of boxes in that every room had great flow, connecting it with each other, and it has lovely natural light, and indoor-outdoor flow. So my dad's idea might solve all our problems, right? We keep our kitchen and lounge where it is. We turn this into a master bedroom with ensuite and office. That means that we can have 3 bedrooms upstairs plus another bathroom. Amazing, right? Not quite, because this house has some really unique design challenges. Only 2 sides of the house actually have access to natural light, windows, and outside. Because the back of the house is actually our boundary with our neighbours. So we can't put any windows in there, and we never will be able to. And that half of the house is connected to the barn. So only this half of the house has light. The second design challenge is that the whole house is divided into little rooms by load-bearing walls. So ultimately this means that each room is very separate from the room next to it, and it creates very difficult bottlenecks when 5 people and a dog are trying to get round the house. And all we have is little doorways that we all have to squeeze through to get from A to B around the house. So this is our current kitchen, dining, lounge, and bathroom. It is divided by this load-bearing wall, which also supports this beam, which supports the entire second floor up here. So that's why we only have this very narrow doorway to connect our space. We also have the whole kitchen along this back wall here, and laundry. Can't forget about the laundry. But yeah, we have the whole kitchen against this back wall, and it's just doesn't get a lot of light because the only light we have is coming from this side of the house, and it just doesn't really make it all the way over here. So it's very clear that nobody yet has been able to come up with a good flow between these spaces that makes them functional and also a pleasure to be in. I've been trying to put some designs to paper to come up with a kitchen, dining, lounge, laundry space that works and doesn't involve some serious construction to compensate for moving this very important load-bearing wall. So far, I have just not come up with anything that ticks all our boxes. What our boxes are, well, mainly mine. Jack he's happy if I'm happy. He just doesn't want it to be too hard, I think. So that's why we're compromising by coming up with a design that I'm happy with that also keeps this wall mostly intact. So our boxes are that I want the kitchen sink and the preparation area to be closer to the natural light. I also want an island kitchen counter that the kids and guests can sit at to participate in preparing meals and the conversation. And also I want these spaces to be much better connected rather than just this tiny little doorway. Obviously we also need a designated dining area, a designated lounge area, and I'd also really like to incorporate a toilet in here somewhere. Oh, and a laundry. Don't forget the laundry. So yeah, it's asking a lot of these 2 rooms to come up with something that works completely. But I had an epiphany yesterday. I had the epiphany that this room needs. I've got the idea in my head up here, but in order to make sure it's actually possible in real life, I'm going to take some measurements of the room because there's lots of little cutouts and with the stairs and with this room, and I just want to know exactly where they are and that the design can work. big rectangle. I'm gonna need this measurement and then this measurement. Okay, so let's get those. 5 meters, 4 meters, 2.5 meters, 60 centimeters thick. 4.2 by 4.8. Gosh, this isn't a square house. It's not square at all. That's okay. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Where are the kids?
There's one. He's videoing me.
Oh, he's big, isn't he?
Okay, I'll show you my plan.
Okay.
So the new plan would be to take out this wall here, which is currently the fireplace, and substitute it for a kitchen island. It wouldn't be a complete island because we would keep this wall here, keep that intact as to hold up the ceiling. And we would just put an extra, my plan is just to keep an extra column back here to hold up the rest of the ceiling. So if the island comes to about here, then that just makes that space so much wider and easier for us to all maneuver around. It would also mean that these 2 rooms are much more connected and more of an open plan kind of vibe. We'll also move the sink to here. We'll have to move this window up, but now we know what a pro Jack is at putting windows into these houses. I don't think that will be too much of a challenge for him. So sink underneath the window will be really nice. So we're going to keep most of that intact there, and then just remove from here where the drying rack is really, and that will be removed. And then that gives us a lovely big kitchen dining room. We'll take out this dresser here and replace it with wider floor to ceiling storage. So I think that will answer our biggest problems of having this tiny doorway as how we need to get around from A to B. And it will also open up these 2 rooms to make living more open plan. And a view from this side. So from that beam will be supported by the wall, and then the rest will be open. What do you think?
Yeah? Yeah, the only thing that I'm thinking is just the sink being like miles from everything else feels a bit odd.
Well, it's not really.
It's as far as it could be in that room from your cooking stuff, like.
But we could do, you know how people do the tap over the stove?
That's so funny you mentioned that. I've literally never heard of it, and when I told someone I was about to find out about my new kitchen design, he was like, oh, do you know what I really want? There's a pot filler. You get a tap over your stove. And I was like, oh, that's really clever. I've never heard of that. So we're getting that.
Yeah, because all the plumbing's already here.
Right, because it's right against the back wall there.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for your help.
I don't know that I helped, but...
You did. You did help.
Can't wait to stand in the space and see it.
Yeah, before we build it, I think you should do that.
Yeah, probably. At least one.
Yeah, but for now it's good.
Feels like we have a plan.
Okay.
Well done, baby.
All right, I'm going to send this over to you.
All right, take it easy. Can't wait to see it.
I love you.
I love you.
Too.
So our chicks are growing so fast, and there's a distinct difference that we've noticed between them, and that's their tails. So some of them have got really long tails, and some of them have got really short, sticky, uppy tails like this. Should we have a look? So these ones have got really long tails, and then some of them have got really short tails. And we've got many more long tail ones. Long tail, then we do short tails. So either we have a whole lot of hens or a whole lot of roosters. fingers crossed for a whole lot of hens. So I googled this morning what's another way of like sexing them, and apparently we can tell by what they do with their claws when you pick them up. So if I get a long tail one, so if they're female, they will keep their feet out like this when you pick them up. And see how she keeps her feet really straight out? Doesn't hook them in like this. So I think this is a girl, so that's a boy. See how he's hooked both his feet up? So by that very scientific test, that means we've got about 4 roosters and 16 hens, which is just amazing.
There's another rooster in there.
His name's Billy. Hi, goat. You enjoying the sunshine? They're coming.
Quite scary.
Today is Sunday. Jack is coming home tonight. We have made it through the whole week without him, mostly in one piece. We even managed to get out and do some of our favourite things, like petting bunnies and getting cake from Gâteau. Last night we went out to Rob and Lisa's to christen their new barbecue, and that's Rob from Escape to France Charente. We'll link his YouTube channel below. Amazing food and great company. It was really nice to get out and see friends in what was otherwise a quite lonely week. But it was, in a way, it was nice because we have been so full on, so busy, and it was nice to take this week and just be with the kids and just be with where we're at in the renovation, to take stock of our plans, to change them, and to appreciate the fact that we're at the start of summer, which is my favourite time of year and why we just absolutely love life in France. Thanks for hanging out with me this week. We are all super excited to have Dad back tonight. We have missed him terribly, and yeah, just can't wait for him to get back to work. The garden is like so close to being finished. No rest for the wicked. He's going to be on that when he gets back.